For 3 weeks, I was listed as a missing person by Interpol.
Wow.
When did this happen?
In the mid-90s.
Where were you? Had you actually disappeared?
I was in Morocco.
What were you doing there?
I was on a bike ride in Spain.
You were on a bike ride in Spain in Morocco.
Can I have a moment to chat with my client?
What happened was, I met someone in Spain on a train, a Moroccan
So hang on,
man.
was this bike ride in Spain happening on the train? It was like, because I know that you get those Spanish bike rides on trains in Morocco. It's probably one of those.
No, there was bad weather, and that's why I took the train from the north of Spain to the south of Spain, because apparently, according to the local newspaper, there was better, more agreeable bicycling weather.
How did you then get into Morocco, though?
That is because I met that Moroccan bloke on the train.
Which Moroccan bloke?
Yeah, does he have a name?
I can't quite remember, but it was Mohammed or something.
Mohammed the Moroccan, you met on the train in Spain.
He asked me if I wanted to join him to go to Morocco. And then I thought, well, I've never been outside Europe. In for penny, in for pound.
So you were picked up by a strange Moroccan on a train and agreed to go back to Morocco with him.
What's the worst that can happen?
How did you find out that you were on the Interpol list?
I realised only once I rang my parents, once I was back in Spain. And I rang my parents, and for them it was like someone found them from beyond the grave.
So why didn't you ring your parents from Morocco?
Because that man, that Mohammed,
You remember Mohammed, don't you?
Yeah.
He was the man on the train.
The Moroccan on the train.
The Moroccan on the train who invited him back to his house.
So and then when I was staying with Mustafa and his family...
From what port did you leave Spain and into which port did you enter Morocco?
Question.
Well, we left Spain, if I remember correctly, from Algeciras and went over to Ceuta, which is one of the 2 Spanish enclaves in the north of Morocco.
Good answer.
I think you've just clutched victory from the jaws of defeat.
How was it then resolved? How did you end up getting off of the list?
Well, hang on a minute, we're jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
What the hell
He's
did
allowed
you
to
in
do that,
Morocco?
isn't he?
What were you doing?
I was travelling with Mohammed.
My client is getting mixed up because at passport control they said you must have a passport. And he's getting a bit mixed up with the names.
I'm curious as to the fact that Interpol has a missing persons list.
Yeah, no, what happened is my parents got involved and they got Interpol involved.
Right.
And I sent a few postcards, one of them, to my friend Mack. And on that postcard I wrote, I've joined the Foreign Legion. Probably see you never again, have a good life or something. And then, Mack being a quite clever boy, so, OK, with this postcard I can have a lot of fun. I go round Henning's parents and say them something along the lines of, Herr Wehn, Frau Wehn, you might be interested in this.
Sorry, so your friend Mark
Yes.
used this postcard to mentally torture your parents? I'll make his parents think he's disappeared forever for a laugh.
Where's German sense of humour?
What do we know about this Moroccan chap who we're calling Mohammed?
He hadn't been home for many, many years. And so we couldn't take the boat straight to Morocco. We had to go to one of the Spanish enclaves because he had to collect a suitcase full of books from a cafe in Ceuta.
What? Why did he have a suitcase full of books?
Because someone left them there for him.
But why books in a suitcase?
Well, it was back in the mid-90s, people were still reading.
So he went to a cafe in the Spanish enclave of Morocco
Yes.
to collect a suitcase which he told you was full of books.
Well, I suppose a friend of his left them there.
Yes, but
I
why?
mean, you know what it sometimes is like, isn't it? Like, well, I can't quite think of an example.
But if he could, it would be like that.
Yeah.
This Interpol list that you were on, can you just elaborate on how your parents got you onto it?
Well, they rang the consulate, and they rang all
Which
sorts
consulate?
of... The German one. And,
Which German consulate?
well, the one in Morocco.
They
And
didn't
the
ring
one
the
in-
police, they rang the German consulate in Morocco.
Well, that's how you would go about it, wouldn't you? It's no
I don't
good
know.
ringing your local bobby.
And what happens then with the list? Do you just... They have to tell Interpol, stop
Yeah.
looking for Henning. We
Yeah, I
found him.
suppose so, yeah.
Well, did they? For all
My
we know, they're
parents are
still
quite-
looking for you now.
I'm safe.
So what do you think, David? Does any of that have the ring of truth, or has he made all that up?
What do you think, Kirsty?
I think it's so odd and inconsistent and unlikely that it must be true.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards as well.
Yeah.
I think that
it's
as
true.
well. I think it's true.
Yeah.
Henning, was that the truth, or were you telling a lie?
Well, this story is true. I was once arrested by border guards for illegally entering another country.
David's team, what do you think?
Which country?
It was in the mid-90s.
That's not a country.
No. And it was in Eastern Europe, so they changed names very quickly. So I'm not sure. It was either Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia. I don't know which.
You know what stage of its
Yeah, exactly.
dissolution it was at. Yeah. And what was the problem?
I didn't have my passport
Right.
Where had you left your passport?
at home.
Who were you with, by the way? Were you on your own, or
No, I
was
was with a friend from back home, Pete.
a friend from the pit?
No, with a person called Pete.
Is that his real name? Or is that a nickname?
Pete.
Oh, Pete.
No, P-I-T.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, is that
Pete.
Pete?
He's called Pete.
Like Brad Pitt, but
Yeah.
Pitt is his first name.
Otherwise, I would say Pete.
Yeah.
We were travelling on something that was called Schönes Wochenend-Ticket. And
That's German for National Express.
now, what it is German for, you can use any train you like as long as it's a slow train.
We have that system with all of our trains.
Called National Rail.
OK, so you get off the train at the border.
You do.
Is it at that moment that you realise you don't have your passport?
Yes. So we wanted to go into Czechoslovakia. So I didn't have my passport. So the obvious thing to do is don't go across where the border guards are, but go a mile off into the fields and cross there. If then someone wants to see your passport, you say, oh, I must have lost it.
Roughly how far into Czechoslovakia, in whatever form it was, were you?
I was about, give or take, a mile. I see in the distance, I see like two lights, two white lights. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I realise it's a Jeep. And then they're driving towards us.
I'm quite gripped by this story.
The Jeep then just stopped, and then there is 4 people jumping out with automatic rifles and dogs.
Automatic dogs.
What sort of dogs were they?
I didn't ask for their names. But
Neither did Alex.
they were terrifying dogs, probably Alsatians or something.
What happened? They're all around you. So
Well,
what
they
do
all
they say?
jump out with their rifles, don't they? And then saying, or whatever their language is. So, and then we had to get in the Jeep, and when we were driving off into Czechoslovakia, and then we ended up in some woods. One of them jumps out, opens the gate, and I didn't even see what was there. Then there is some little wooden hut. And was someone in there that spoke German. We got on well with that fella, and our excuse was that we said, we had no idea that we crossed the border.
Yeah.
So, and then, well, they didn't fully buy it, but they knew there was little point executing us.
What happens then?
And now the funny story begins. They said, you'll have to pay a penalty.
Oh, the Germans and penalties.
That
Not
penalty...
Never again, please.
Then the Czechs drove us back to the German border, handed us over to the German border guards, and then they congratulated us on being the first illegal immigrants from Germany into Czechoslovakia.
Well, there we are. David, what are you and your team thinking?
It's the travel card thing. It just seems right.
I think on an emotional level, having spent so long hearing that story, we need it to be true. We need something.
We need it to be true
Yeah.
because a lot of our life went into that.
So
yes,
you're gonna
on
say
that
true?
emotional level, I think we have to say true.
You're saying it's true. Henning, truth or lie?
Well, that story is actually true.
Yes, that was true. Henning did get arrested for illegally entering another country.
For 3 weeks, I carted an empty box around without realising that what I bought wasn't actually in it.
David's team.
Right. What was it? What did you imagine it was?
What it was a... No, don't let me lie. It was... there was a plastic Christmas tree.
That's what you thought was in there?
Absolutely.
For 3 weeks.
But that's something you open quite quickly after buying it, a Christmas tree.
No, it's about the suspense, isn't it? Christmas is all about suspense, and...
I don't think it's all about suspense. Because, in general, when you buy a box that you think contains an artificial Christmas tree, you just assume that it does. You don't go, oh, I wonder if it's really in there. Because if you're seriously wondering if it's really in there, you'd check before you left the shop, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe I'd chosen my words not very wisely. Some of it got lost in translation.
Where did you buy it, by the way?
At Argos.
As you left the shop, did it not occur to you that it was quite light, this box?
Yes, but what? And, yeah, but now it gets interesting. No, because shortly before that, I'd started doing yoga to increase to improve my core strength. So I didn't think any of it. I thought in such good physical shape, I can lift that box without it straining me.
The queues at Argos are huge.
Yeah.
How long was you in the queue for?
For ages.
So it was a few weeks later that you opened it, ready for Christmas. Nothing was in there. What happened next?
Well, I kept the box, didn't I?
So you went on to have this Christmas without a Christmas tree in your flat?
I actually, believe it or not, I did use the box instead of the Christmas tree.
As a tree?
Because there was pictures of a Christmas tree on the outside. And
The saddest Christmas ever.
I have one further question.
Yes?
Why were you
the
carrying
one.
this box around with you for 3 weeks?
When I say I didn't take it to social occasion, I didn't say to the box, do we want to go down the park? And then the box at what, end of November? Far too cold. So,
I did not ask you whether or not you socialised with the box.
I tell you what, I took the box into town with me on one occasion. I went all the way into Leicester Square with the box.
Why, on the occasion that you were going into Leicester Square, did you take it with you?
That is a very good question, David, and I shall give you the answer. Because the box and I were going to do a comedy show.
On how many journeys did you take this Christmas tree, other than the one from Argos to your flat and the one from your flat to the comedy show in Leicester Square?
Can we just keep it a bit lighter? He's not up for a war crime.
Not on this occasion, anyway.
David, what do you think?
What do you think, Sean?
I'm sort of having it, a little bit. Because anything you buy from Argos, even if it's a big wardrobe, it doesn't weigh anything when you walk out with the box.
Are you an Argos man, Sean?
I used to be.
Really?
Big time, yeah.
What stopped you?
Fame.
Tom?
I think he's... I mean, it's a
Sort of.
ridiculous story. But, I mean, he's a canny fella.
So, shall we go for true?
Yeah.
True?
Yeah.
We're going to say true.
All right. Henning, truth or lie?
This story is true. As a kid, my parents denied me chocolate, so every Easter, I had to run around the garden and hunt the Easter onion.
The Easter onion, yes. David, where'd you begin?
Then were the days.
Why were you denied chocolate?
It's not good for you, is it?
And why did you hunt an onion? Why didn't you just say, I don't give a damn where that onion is. It's not a treat.
Well, you do what you're told to do, innit? As a kid.
So you would look for the onion, and you would find the onion, and you would say...
I'd say, da ist die Zwiebel.
What?
What?
My days in Germany said, there's the onion.
What would happen then?
Then I would hold it aloft. And...
At what point in your family's Easter celebrations would the onion hunt occur?
well, when on Easter Sunday.
On Easter Sunday, in the morning on Easter Sunday.
I would be out in the garden.
So, but before your parents were up, you were already out there.
Henning, do you get on with your parents?
Very well, yeah.
Are they nice?
Yeah, I mean, my father is dead, but he was a really jolly fella, and yeah, my mother is all right, yeah.
I'm glad you didn't do the speech at the funeral.
Once you track the onion down, Henning, would you tuck into it?
Yeah, you have a bite.
Raw?
So,
Of course.
So you're very pleased, you held the onion aloft, and then you took a bite out of it.
Yeah.
I do feel like you're more enchanted by onions than we are.
But obviously they mean a lot to me because I knew Easter Sunday it was time to go in the garden and hunt the Easter onion.
What are you thinking, Rachel?
I was half believing him until the biting into it.
They're quite solid, aren't they? It's like a tennis ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, I can bite into an onion because I wasn't allowed chocolate. That means my teeth are good.
Yeah.
Would your mother and your father, when he was alive, would they share the experience?
He would occasionally bite in an onion.
You'd hold it aloft, they'd say, well done, little Henning. And they'd all, look what Henning has done. And then, he's holding it aloft. Could they also tuck into the onion?
It was. Just thinking of that onion makes me eyes water.
What do you think? Is that truth?
What do you think?
Well, even though he started crying at the memory, I don't know. They're crocodile tears.
He does seem very moved, doesn't he?
What do you think, Alex?
I hope it's true, but I think it's not.
I think it's a lie.
It's a lie. You're saying it's a lie. Henning, did the Easter Bunny bring an onion?
Sadly, it's a lie. I once refused to use a dressing room because I could sense the aura of Derek Acora.
David's team.
Who's Derek Acora?
Now, there's a lot riding on this.
Well, he is like someone who can get in touch with the world that isn't there.
The other side.
He has a side.
The other side, yeah. ITV.
So... So, yeah, any questions?
Yeah.
Paint a picture. Where were you?
I was in a theatre.
Where?
Stockport. I was working there that day.
In what capacity?
Well, they thought they had booked a stand-up comedian. I went into a dressing room, and that room felt ever so cold.
It was Stockport.
No, but not like temperature-wise. It felt like spooky cold.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Yes, but that's
like
what happens
chilling.
if you go into a room where there's a ghost. But Derek Acora is alive, is he not? He's just somebody who can speak to ghosts.
Well, what happened was, I don't know who he speaks to or what, but...
Or who he is.
No, you are almost right, but you're wrong. As in, I've never seen him, but he was working in that place the day before. To describe the coldness of that room, the thermometer won't be any help. It was like all life was sucked out that room. Now you step in there and you think...
Well, tell us what you were thinking, otherwise it won't work.
No, it's like you step in there and it's like...
Are you sure you weren't on stage and that was the audience?
No, it was like, I can't really describe it. So you're in that...
I know.
In that dressing... I says to one of the people working there, I say, which dressing room was that Derek Acora in yesterday?
And she said, I don't know, I died in 1742.
I mean, you could have had 5 bobbleheads and you would still have gone, oh, poor blimey, it's freezing in here.
And you came to the conclusion that this was the aura of Derek Acora.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not like...
Telling the truth?
No. So I'm not one of them that goes round out there, and all that. But I've never experienced anything like it. Well, I obviously was instantly out, went to one of the other dressing rooms, and it was like as if life had returned to me in Stockport.
Wow.
Let's go for a decision. What's it going to be? Joe?
Completely preposterous.
Really?
I think it's true.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No. But I believe
Well, how
that
could it be true?
I believe that he believes in ghosts.
He's a sort of savage rationalist.
It's 2-1, lie against
I think
truth.
we're going to go lie.
You're going to say...
I think we'll go lie.
Lie. Henning, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
This was 100% the truth. Because I already know what I look like, I do not have a single mirror in my house.
Please, team.
You don't own a mirror? because you already know what you look like. Yeah, but none of us are looking in the mirror to remind ourselves what we look like. We're doing it to straighten our hair or brush our teeth.
Well, you need to look in the mirror to brush your teeth.
Yeah, I do, actually.
I use a toothbrush.
What about nasal hair and ear hair and things like that?
Well, there is so many mirrors about, if you really want to know. Any old cafe or restaurant.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you take a nasal clippers with you.
Yeah, well, don't you know it? Can't you feel if you've got nasal hair or not?
Well, yeah, but how do you get... Well, do you ever trim them with anything?
You said, yeah, but I can't feel if I've got nasal hair or not. Do I need to see a doctor about that? I can't.
Your nasal hair's massive. It's grown all over here.
When did the decision come to stop having mirrors?
It's not a conscious decision, but I don't like palaver.
So there's no palaver lamps in your house either? What about when you're shaving? How do you shave?
Oh, yeah,
got an electric shaver.
Yeah, I know you. I've got an electric razor.
How do you know how much charge is in it if you can't see it reflected in the mirror?
I think you can look at it with your eyes.
Look at it.
You have a break, PC, and I will carry on with this interview.
OK, I'll tell you what, Henning. So you wake up in the morning, OK? It's time for Henning to do his ablutions. Talk us through it.
I get up.
Are you pyjamaed or do you sleep naked?
Halfway.
Please tell me you don't just wear a pyjama top.
No, I've got underpants and then usually no top on.
You sleep in just your underpants?
That's what I sleep in.
In Henning's underpants.
Yeah.
Come on, you get out of bed, what happens next?
Well, I have a shower.
Right.
Brush my teeth.
You haven't had a little look at yourself to go, oh, dear, I don't look very good.
When did you last look in the mirror and thought, oh, I didn't think I would look like this?
Here's the thing, right? Your hair's, you know, it's in place.
Yeah.
Well, you're not just feeling each individual strand, are you?
What do I need to do with my hair?
Don't get me started.
OK, what's it going to be? Truth or lie?
Simon?
I think it's a lie.
It's got to be a lie.
It's got to be a lie, yeah.
So you're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK, Henning, no mirrors in your house. True or lie?
Absolutely true.
What?